welcome to podcast number 3 of our recap. My name's Craig, and we have Richard.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going, Rich? What you been playing, watching, all that jazz?
Well, not much change on the playing part. I'm still playing WoW Classic. Funny enough. As for watching, quite a big list, but I don't really want to go into monologue in it because I don't know if that's what our viewers want to hear.
Well, I've been keep it pretty short this time as well. I've been playing the start of Far Cry 5, and I played the demo of finally. I forgot it again. Literally played it last night. That Zelda clone.
Oh, you mean Immortals?
Yeah, that's it. They should have kept it Gods and Monsters. I remember that. Yeah, I played that.
Yeah.
That's decent. Not as good as Zelda, but who's that?
Clone.
As for watching, I've been watching WandaVision finale, which we'll talk about next. Humans on Netflix, Big Mouth, and that's it. Yep, that's it.
I suppose if our viewers want to hear what I've been watching, I'll quickly go run down my little list. It is Solar Opposites on Disney Plus. Recommended if you like Rick and Morty. Forget About It on Amazon, which was some pleasant surprise, and on Netflix, Snowpiercer with Sean Bean.
Does he die in it?
Some see.
He'll die. He always does.
Right now, it's probably, I don't know, I don't want to say a percentage, but it's probably looking like he'll probably get his comeuppance later on.
It's inevitable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, first story today will be WandaVision for the last time, because it was the finale, which I'm sad about. No! I didn't want it to end.
What? Why? Come on.
It's been good. First 3 were like, oh, this is weird, because it's all sitcom-y, all 50s and 60s and stuff like that. Then we started to get into the real meat of it when the MCU real world came into it, like the Sword, Monica Rambeau. Then it started getting better, and then we learned that Agatha was the witch, and then I'm super sad that it's ended.
Here's a question, right? I know we're going to discuss it, but one thing I want to say. If it was a Marvel movie, would you have been psyched for
it? Depends. Well, I'd watch it because it's the MCU is like a massive story now, so I probably would watch it. But it depends who.
I mean, who?
Like you're saying, would I have been psyched for it? What character?
I mean, if WandaVision was a Marvel film, it could like chopped a little bit of the sitcoms around and made it short for like an hour and a half.
I don't think.
Would you have said it? Would you have said it would be as good as you say it is now?
No, because I think I prefer TV shows because you can flesh it out. You've not got an hour and a half to cram everything in.
Yeah, I suppose you say that, but it's not bad. But I'm still holding out to see how the other two turn out. With Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki are the next two that's popping up. So we'll see how it stacks to them. But WandaVision, I was still on the fence about it.
No, I liked it. I'm sad it's end. But this was the finale. It's going to be the best one, which it was. There's gotta say, I like the Wizard of Oz reference they did.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
As soon as that car hit her and hit into house, I thought that's the Wizard of Oz reference that, and then it zoomed in on the boots. I thought, called it.
I didn't think that, but I did notice it when it came in with the boots.
Boots.
Okay, nice little cheeky nod. Which I must admit though, it could coincide with the actual show because Wizard of Oz probably something she watched as a kid, so it would have been a bit of a kind of link to when she was a child too. If they decided to do it that.
Perhaps, but I think she was more into TV shows like sitcom. That's why there was all sitcom in it. I've got to say, hats off to Marvel for the troll that is casting Evan Peters as Quicksilver, because he just turned out to be some random dude called Ralph Boner.
Yeah, who had a little man cave, and that was it.
Yeah, man cave that looks a lot like the one he had in X-Men.
Yeah, but it doesn't really explain if he still got the powers or not, does it? I mean, were they granted to him by her?
Yeah, I think. Don't really speculate, does it? Really, I
No,
think it was part of the deal, the bracelet.
yeah, probably. But again, don't know. He just took the bracelet off, and that's the last we saw of him, which is a shame because I think he would have been a decent Quicksilver.
Yeah, good character, quite cocky, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Especially was like, oh, yeah, want to fight? That was good.
Aye. It was. It's like you like that polar opposite to the Flash. The Flash was more smarter and a bit more, a bit more calculated. Where Quicksilver's like, yeah, come on, let's go.
Yeah,
He's like, he's off and gone.
it's more fun.
Yeah. So
It's like the uncle compared to the father, not strict,
yeah, he's the fun uncle.
literally.
Yeah.
What else? White Vision. What happened to him? He just flew off.
Well, I did speculate last week that he'd get some kind of memory back. I wasn't expecting the boop. That
Yeah,
was it. It's like switching them on and off. It's weird. It's
yeah.
like boop. There you go. It's like, oh, come on. And then he just flies off. It's like,
That's it.
yeah, you could have explained a bit more, but of course, what's happened is that he's transferred his memories into this vision. This vision's going to go off, ponder what's happened. He's going to come back fully coloured and go, "Hey, Wanda, I'm home." Something like
That'd be weird
that.
for the. I mean, the whole the boat of thesis battle, we'll call it. That were interesting instead of just a full-on scrap.
Aye. It was interesting. Very very philosophy of what they call it. I got the very
That's
smart kind of fight. Instead of having beaten up, they're like discussing it, and then he just went boop, and then off he goes. And I thought it was quite cool. But again, it doesn't really explain what's going to happen to Vision unless he does like a little pop up in one of the other episodes, one of the other shows. Sorry,
that's strange.
Yeah, strange. They did hint at him, but as somebody else pointed out, that at the time, we'll wait till we get to that subject. I know it's coming up.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed because I was expecting once he shot off through the air out the window, he was going to help Wanda, but
Yeah,
why didn't he? Because ultimately he is Vision now.
yeah.
So why didn't he? Why wouldn't he have helped her?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's just like boop, off I go. It's like, clarity. Come on, where's you going?
Yeah.
Oh, what's he up to? Or any kind of hints that he's doing something. Nope. He's like, I'm done.
He'll be sat at the side of the lake thinking.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting if he did it at the same point where he
Took out Ultron.
yeah, that'd be interesting.
And then, it'd be good if Ultron says something. He'd be like,
No.
Ultron's not fully gone. He's still around.
The book was the Darkhold. I was a bit
Yeah.
surprised at that. I mean, it looks different from the one when it featured in Agents of Shield as well.
Never saw the show, so I can't see the reference. But they've always hinted at these other little things. But I think what Marvel's probably trying to do now is probably trying to shove Agent of Shield a bit away.
They've said they're going to try and make this Darkhold more comic book relatable.
Yeah. So,
because
I mean,
they did some crazy stuff in Agents of Shield.
Yeah, which have not been referenced at all, has it? It's like, I think at the time Marvel was trying it because they didn't know what to do, and now they've got Disney and they've got Disney Plus, and then they've got like a more of a focus thing. I think Agent Shield is going to be slowly pushed to the side.
But it's finished now, isn't it, as well? So
yeah, and that too. So they don't need to reference it that often. But I noticed in the book she mentioned the Social Supreme.
Yeah,
which
that's the only nod we got from him.
Aye, but from what my partner told me is that the book was written many, many years ago, so it was aiming at the original Supreme. The ancient one.
I'm not
So
sure.
it was
Well, it'd be even before her time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so it'd be reference
the original, whoever that is.
Yeah. So Strange is meant to be the better one. So is he stronger or not? So that's another little
something else to look forward to.
Yeah, whenever that film decides to turn up.
What? Doctor Strange.
Yeah, when's it
That's
come out?
2022.
Oh, is it 2022 now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this year, hopefully, it's Black Widow. Hopefully.
Not sure about this film, but okay. Yeah.
Oh, I'll watch that still.
I'm not
Um,
paying £20 to watch it though. I'll
oh,
wait.
it'll come on Disney Plus
Yeah, that's
eventually.
what I mean. It'd be on Disney Plus, but you'd have to pay the £20 to watch
No,
it.
not doing that.
Well, they did that with
Did that with Mulan.
and
And this new one, like Raya
yeah,
Dragon, something
yeah.
like
We're gonna watch it, but then it's like, oh, by the way, pay premium. No, I'll wait until June,
that.
then I'll watch it.
One thing that did bug me a bit, and it's been echoed by other YouTubers, is how did she learn how to do the runes on the water quickly? Because she
Yeah,
only learnt of them like half an hour before that
yeah,
battle. It's like she's good at magic. She knows what she's doing, but she's able to do these runes on the hex so fast.
yeah. That was like, oh, she's. I can see what she's doing. She's like firing at Agnes, but also firing to the side.
Yeah,
You don't really. It looks like she's not got any control what she's doing, but obviously she's
making these
creating the
runes.
runes. But it's like again, yeah. How did she know when she's?
She's,
Did she like? Might sound corny, but did she like level up and then suddenly, oh, I know these?
that's just it's a plot hole, I've got to say, but
Yeah.
I suppose it's one way out of them because it's a series finale.
Or maybe remember when she was like being absorbed? Maybe she absorbed some of the knowledge from her. You know, with that beam, she was like trying to share the power. Maybe she was grabbing something from Agnes at the same time.
It'd be nice for some clarification, though.
Yeah. Assumptions. That's what we got.
Yeah. I felt bad for her though because at the end she was walking back to the house with Vision and the kids, and you could just tell by the look of her face what was going to happen.
Aye. I mean, everybody knew it's like this is where it started, this is where it ended, but this is how she handled the grief as well, and what she could have had. So
That's
in a way,
that's how it started, doing it. The whole series.
yeah, it's how it started and how it ended because she had everything. She lost everything, vision, a chance to family, going to a house that was supposed to be theirs, not being there, and it just. And then the entire series was about her going through the motions of handling grief. It seems now, and
Yeah.
then at the end, she accepted what's happened and just
Moved on.
yeah.
Well, we said moved on, but she's trying to find her kids, which is why we get that shouting.
That little scene at the end in the
Yeah.
log cabin. She's also able to make a clone of herself, which is pretty cool.
I think it's a clone. It's more like
Projection.
I've just watched it yesterday as well. Doctor Strange. He does it. That's how he did it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Astral plane where he just uses his astral plane to read, learn why his proper form gets T, or in Wanda's case gets T, which some people think she's doing. So Doctor Strange thinks she's only doing that while Scarlet Witch is in the back reading, learning.
Yeah. But I just hope they're not going to do like a reverse Phoenix saga and have her like the main villain.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Reverse Phoenix.
She's gonna, because she wants the kids back, she'll do anything to get them, and that will mean using up Chaos power, which I don't think Doctor Strange will like, or even I think it's Mordo.
Mordo?
He was the doing Doctor Strange. He sort of at the end. Well, I think it's the end scene in Doctor Strange. He killed. I can't remember his name. I want to say Pangold. That sounds familiar. It was a guy who pretty much gave Doctor Strange the answer to find the ancient one.
Yeah, I seem to remember that. Yeah, it's been ages since I watched Doctor Strange. So I might need to catch up on it. So I know what you're talking about now, and it could be. I mean, there's also the devil of MCU, or I won't say MCU, sorry, Marvel. which
Mephisto.
everybody felt was working with Agnes. She could reach it. It could be like a reverse role where she reaches out to him and he's like, "Oh, you want your kids back, eh? Well, how
Yeah,
about a deal? Yeah, you do this for me, you can have them."
I could.
And he's like,
I could see that
"Okay."
working.
So yeah, it could end up that because a lot of people are like thinking, the middleman's Mephisto, the rabbit's Mephisto, and they're like, everybody's Mephisto, and of course the Marvel's like, no, you got it all wrong. Not a single one.
Because I don't think because is Wanda a villain?
It's hard to say because I don't know much about the Marvel universe, but every time from what I remember from the X-Men cartoon, I could be completely wrong because that was back in the 90s. I think in there she was introduced as a villain along with Quicksilver because they're Magneto's kids,
Yeah.
and I think she's always had this anti-hero approach, if we could say like that. So we don't know. I mean, right now she's lost everything. As far as I know, she's not part of the Avengers anymore because she's obviously living on her own now. So she could take on a villain or an anti-hero kind of role where she can do whatever she wants and gets away with it.
Well, that's what she was doing. That's what led me to believe that she's a villain because she kept a whole town. Was it a town, Westview?
Yeah,
Kept as puppets, really.
yeah. So manipulation and everything like that, which again came from the Mind Stone. Which, speaking of the Mind Stone, she's actually hints it in the show as well.
That she's got she's got a piece of it inside her. She said.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
So
huh?
like
How does that
I
work?
didn't call it last week. A living Infinity Stone. What she is now. So she's made from a piece in which create vision. So it's it kind of all. That's one thing about shows now. As you get older, you kind of predicting it, and it's kind of coming right. It's like, okay.
The post-credit scene, both of them. There was. They were fine. I mean, they weren't like, oh my god, look at that. I mean, you've got Monica Rambeau talking to a Skrull.
Yeah.
And Nick Fury wants to talk to her.
Yeah, punching up
in space, which we haven't seen Nick since the end scene on Spider-Man.
Yeah, which was Far From Home, was it? He was he's kicking back and he's a drink, but then he comes out to be a space station. Again, this is where I think Marvel's probably going towards the Secret War story arc because it's kind of bringing the Skrulls more into line. And originally they're more like villains, and now they seem to be like, as the refugees, they're more willing to help, which I think is a good thing because it could coincide to something coming. They could rally and then maybe Galactus turns up.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Well, how the hell did he defeat him? Because he eats planets.
Yeah, well, he's been defeated before. As long as they don't make him a cloud, it should be all right.
But there's two types, isn't there, of that villain. The Skrulls, which are the good. I think they're good, at least. And there's the other kind, which can also shapeshift.
Yeah.
That's what's how it all starts with the Skrulls versus the other ones when they come to Earth. Or am I completely wrong?
I don't know. I don't know much about the Infinity War because, again, I only go by what I've seen. Sadly, I know there's probably Marvel fans out there that's probably gonna. God, these guys don't know what they're talking about. This and this. Feel free to comment below. I don't care. I'll happily read it and I'll learn from it. But from what I've gathered is that they are Skrulls. But originally, they were trying to take over and absorb powers to fight someone else. As far as I know, if I could be completely wrong, I don't know. But it would be interesting to see how they do it because there's still more story arcs, and now that they've got the Fox assets and got my X-Men back and the Fantastic Four, it brings in their villains.
Yeah.
Galactus was one of them for the Fantastic Four, in the films anyway. I mean, I'm sure he turned up in the comic book somewhere as fighting the Avengers as well, but it's opened up more avenues, but these more avenues, is it possible to create a story arc where the reason the MCU became successful is because they worked with what they got. So they worked with Iron Man, and then they worked with Thor and that lot, and all the IPs, and they could slowly make the story as they went. But now there's so many story arcs coming together. it's going to be. I think it's going to be tricky to see which ones are going to follow right now.
I've got too many toys to play with.
Yeah, I think everybody suffers the same thing. I mean, when it comes to games and shows, you're like looking at that, huh? There's so much to choose from. I don't know where to go. And then when you got very little stuff, you're like, I like that, I like that, I like that. And then you're like, so quality over quantity seems right now.
I sort of hope. I don't know. I do like films and movies, but they're just not long enough to do it justice. Like, imagine. Well, just take Justice League for example, the Snyder Cut.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
4 hours long.
yeah. With he also leaked. I know this is going off the Marvel subjects, guys. Sorry, but you've got to talk about it. He also leaked ideas for like 4 other films that's supposed to come along, like the Legion of Doom and story arcs that involved heroes dying. I think it might have been good, but and I've also heard reports apparently Warner Brothers aren't happy with his new cut.
Oh.
So I don't know what's going on in that. But to see a 4-hour version of a film that you tried to do in 2 films, could it be any good? I don't know. I'm well willing to give it a go and see.
And it's supposed to end on a cliffhanger as well, but there's no sequel. So
I've got a funny feeling. You know this rumor that they're going about that they've recast Henry Cavill and they've got this new Superman film in the works with JJ. But there's no solid evidence that who's being recast. I've got a feeling that Warner Brothers is actually going to wait to see what happens with this Justice League, right? And if it goes one way, like it's a huge success, it's like Cavill, we need you back. Yeah, we've got a new film coming with JJ. And then, Snyder, by the way, I know we treated you badly, but we noticed how successful. I'll tell you what, we give you another 100 million. Here, work on the sequels for HBO Max. And then, if it's a failure, they can go, well, we told you so. Oh well. By the way, what's his name? Well, who's one that they've rumored to be cast as him? You want to play Killmonger?
Oh, Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Mr. Jordan. Oh yeah, we need you for something. So that's the way I'm seeing it right now.
Can't really say for certain until it comes out.
Yeah,
it will be successful because it's managed to come out due to fans wanting it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I still remember that little joke that happened in Harley Quinn season 2. That was quite funny.
I'm not caught up with that yet. Back to WandaVision. I read, let me quote this. The music. There was a comparison between the pair. The music used over this scene when Wanda was doing her reading is actually a slowed down and much darker version of Doctor Strange's theme.
Really?
And many fans noticed the sinister theme and were given goosebumps by the detail, which is what made me believe that them two could clash. And I think they could clash because she wants the kids back, but it would need that chaos magic to use it, and Doctor Strange don't know when it to happen.
Yeah. Which then, if it does, it could also create more of a story arc for the multiverse of madness. You know?
Yeah.
So she might. Yeah. I didn't know that, so I did hear it, but I didn't make any kind of notes towards it. So I was like, that's interesting. But now I know it's like, maybe they are teasing more maybe the story arc that's gonna
Wanda versus Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Maybe at the start and at the end.
Well, yeah, that sounds like it's going to be like you're going to see you're going to see these heroes clash out, and then all of a sudden something bigger is going to come along. Oh, by the way, sorry for beating you up, but do you mind helping me with this?
What else? Yeah, but the remember the FBI agent James Will?
Oh yeah.
I want to because there's been I can't remember his name now. I did have it, but he pitched an idea for him to have his own show, spin-off. It's a bit more X-Filesy.
Yeah, I can see that happening because in the Marvel comic arc, there's more about James Will because he's got his own little team as well.
Oh,
so there's like a little comic strips based on him. Because I remember reading a little bit into this, and I could see it happening. Maybe he's going around trying to find out little, like for example, comes across like I did with Wanda. It just came across because he had this. This was strange. That'd be kind of cool because it's not like they don't own the X Files property because it was
Yeah,
Fox, weren't it? So I think it's actually on Stars as well. X Files.
yeah.
I'll be watching it. Yeah.
He could
So
be the new Agent Coulson.
yeah, I mean he has been. This wasn't the first time we saw him though, was it? He was. I'm sure he was in something else. It was another Marvel property.
I think I'm not sure. He was in Ant-Man. That might have been his
Aye.
first appearance. I'm not sure
Yeah.
about
So he is kind of cropping up. So
that. Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see where they go with him. But again, it's up to Marvel. It's up to what's his name? Kevin? Is it Kevin?
Kevin Feige.
Yeah, it's up to him. He's the one that seems to green light all these projects right
Mm.
now. And so far, I think he's probably trying to focus on what he's got. But yeah,
If
I can see that being interesting. I mean, there's more to Marvel than just what we got. There's more mythology there. There's more science fiction, more mystery. So yeah,
especially with Disney Plus and all, they could just put her on there, couldn't
yeah. There's that. It's like it's a platform. A platform that can just put everything like HBO Max. It's like, hey, there you go. Off you go. It's exclusive Disney Plus.
they? I hope Darcy features as well because she's a good character.
Yeah, she's actually first time seeing her was in 4, and it was quite
Yeah.
nice seeing her again.
Next Friday is like a small breather. We get extras behind the scenes about WandaVision.
Mm.
Then week after that, it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh yes, I'm waiting for that. That is. I think that's going to be my bread and butter.
I'll watch it because it's the MCU and it's one big story, but I'm not as excited because it's just well, no magic, no difference. It's just
Mm,
a
I
superhero
don't know.
sort of
We'll soon see.
buddy thing in it.
Yeah.
Yep,
Then we got. I think Loki might be more up your alley than if you're more into
that magic.
like the magic
The
side
time
of things. Yeah.
travel. Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be. I reckon it'll be the same deal again. You'll have maybe 9 weeks of Falcon, get a week
Yeah.
off for the extra scenes, behind the scenes, and all that, and then Loki will start.
And then also Bad Batch for Star Wars as well, which I'm quite interested in watching.
It's going to get to a
So,
point where every Friday throughout the whole year, there's going to be a new Disney Plus show, whether it be
aye,
WandaVision, Falcon with Loki, Bad Batch, Star Wars.
Star Wars,
So,
Marvel, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
so much IP they've got. They can do it
I,
easily.
I'm I'm pretty sure it's all the same for all shows because I think some things on Netflix I've been watching were weekly releases, and I think they came out on Wednesday or Friday.
Hmm.
So I think that's how they're doing it. End of the week, here you go, enjoy your weekend
I
on
think I,
us.
I think I prefer the weekly schedule instead of a binge.
Mm,
Because you get to absorb each episode instead of just going one episode, 2 episodes, 3 episodes, 4 episodes, and you don't get to absorb it and like talk
aye,
about it.
yeah, that's true.
Like if we watched WandaVision in one go now, we'd only probably cover the finale.
Mm, yeah, like the start. Yeah, it'd be like 3 little segments to start,
Mm.
middle, and end. Be it.
So I think
Yep.
weekly one's better.
Mm.
I think that's it for this one. Next story up is the Switch Pro coming from Nintendo.
Well, I don't know much about it myself. All I know is it's going to have OLED, which the Vita had, funny enough. And it's going to be upscaled to 4K dots on
Mm.
on a nearly 6-year-old CPU or APU. Sorry, I don't know how this is going to work. I mean,
It's, I think it'll be like PS4 Pro, and that was 4K, but it weren't
well,
4K. We're like checkerboard or something.
yeah, but that needed a CPU upgrade. It needed an extra memory in that lot, which same with the Xbox One X. I was going to say Series X, but the X that needed a CPU upgrade and memory upgrade too to achieve 4K capabilities. But I suppose if it's only upscaling, they might be able to get away with it. But
Mm.
I don't know what they even think in this. It's strange. I don't. I know they did the kind of same thing previously with the 3DS, new 3DS XL. Strange naming, but and I can't work out Nintendo's logic on this one because if they're not putting a new CPU in it, it's going to be a hell of a battery drain unless they're increasing the battery capabilities with the
Yeah.
OLED. Docking it, this 6-year-old chip's going to be sweating like hell, and is it going to damage the Switch as well? Because if you're overclocking it too much, it's the Switch cool and able to keep it cool. Because 4K, even at upscale, is probably not is not a joke. It is
Heavy
it is a
load.
yeah, it's a heavy load, isn't it? I mean, even PCs to get a 4K resolution, you're spending a hell of a lot. Consoles again. So I don't know the logic. Unless they've got a new Tegra chip, say Tegra 3 or 4, it's possible. I mean, same architect, so it could be backwards compatible, but there's been no word on it.
No. It's going to feature a 7-inch 720p OLED screen and output at 4K when connected to TV. But them screens are coming from Samsung, and they've been in productions from those from June.
June this year?
Last year, sorry.
Last year. So
We're only in March.
oh yeah, sorry. Yes, this is future tech, guys. Yeah, it's coming from the future. You know, it's only a couple of months away. But yeah, I don't know. I can see Nintendo's logic because the Switch is selling. I don't know. I don't know what the last sales numbers were, but the idea was because it was portable, and then saying, "No, it can do 4K, but it needs to be docked."
I
I mean,
mean, you've got the main attraction for it is handheld, I
yeah,
think.
which is Nintendo's strength.
Yeah, the screen. I think they've said is it 480, 520 the screen at minute.
Yeah, something like that.
But obviously getting to a
No,
720p.
it's.
No,
Oh wait, yeah, you could be right. I think it was in handheld mode. It does display at 720p. So
it can't do because the new one will be.
I'm sure it displays at 720p, and when docked, it goes to 1080p.
It can't do. Why would it? Why would it be? What's the point in getting a new one then if it's not going to improve it anymore? Nah, I'm pretty sure it's. I read somewhere it's between 480 and 580p. It's not like 720 and all that. That's the whole point of
I thought
releasing
it
a new
were.
one. No.
Maybe,
Yeah, it's coming from June. But I've just read that an industry insider called Nate Drake, I've never heard of him before, who recently said that Bethesda is aiming to release Starfield by the end of 2021. I can't see that. I can't see that happening either. Has said that the new model Switch will have exclusive games, which won't surprise me because they've done that before with the 3DS.
yeah, but how many exclusive new 3DS games were there? I think, as far as I know, there's only like 3 or 4.
Yeah, but it
Whatever.
depends what sort of games they are. I mean, if they release exclusive Monster Hunter game, for example.
Even the Monster Hunter game that's coming to the Switch is also coming to Steam, so it's not really exclusive anymore.
Well, they could have exclusive features or some sort of exclusive Pokemon game. I mean, that would sell.
Maybe, but again, I've been rarely wanting a need for a Switch. I mean, my partner's got a Switch Lite, so she plays that a lot, playing Animal Crossing, and okay. I don't know. I think let me work out how many Switches I've had. I got one, two, and I think I've had about 2 or 3 in my past, and I just like pick it up, play it down, and it just sits there taking dust most of the time.
I would say I
And
bought one release day back
mm,
in
16, I think it came
2016.
out. Yeah, March or so. And now the thing is though, now there's multiple options for streaming. Like you can get these clips for your phones, and then you got Game Pass, and there you go. You can play games like Gears and Halo on your phone.
I don't know because there's certain game on Nintendo that are just fun to play, like Pikmin. That's just so fun to play. You can't get it anywhere else.
No, but it was better on the Wii U than it is on Switch.
I don't know. I only played demo. I didn't play the full game yet because I don't have time.
Yeah.
But it's fun to play. Whereas some
Right.
games on your Xbox and your PCs and your PlayStation, they're just like, they're
Yeah,
fine, but they're not fun.
Yeah, it's the Nintendo magic, as they would
Yeah.
say. But would you really want to pay if this if this new Switch Pro, whatever they're going to call it, or new Nintendo Switch, whatever they want to name it, were you wanting to pay like £300 to £400 for it?
No,
It's going to be.
because I bought my original Switch release day. I sold that.
Yeah,
I've only got Switch now because I won it. So
lucky.
if I didn't win that, I don't think I would have bought one.
No, I'm the same. I mean, we won't mind a dockable Switch, right? But I'm not fussed about going out and buying one just yet. And even then, even when the new Zelda comes out, I don't know if I'd even be bothered then, which is a shame. But
Yeah,
I don't know what Nintendo is thinking on this because, again, how many people? I mean, people who own a Switch obviously own one of the other generation consoles, either the PlayStation or Xbox. They've got one of the other,
or a PC.
right? Or a PC, yeah. And you can stream, right? You can stream your PC to your phone. You can stream. You can. I mean, why have a handheld that's going to dock, which is going to be severely limited, by the way, on what it can actually do, or just spend the same amount of money? I mean, I know 2020 wasn't very good for next generation consoles and hardware, but hopefully this year will be better. Would you rather buy that or buy a PS5 or Series X or S, which are going to be doing the exact same thing when you dock it? It's not like it's
Yeah,
giving you a reason to buy it as a portable device. I don't know. I mean, I could be right wrong. I don't hate Nintendo. I like the Switch. Just so you know, I don't hate Nintendo at all. But it's just Nintendo's logic on this just seems a bit. I know they've been teasing the Pro for like a few
like
years now.
past year, isn't it?
Yeah,
The
it's been like,
rumours at
oh
the same
yeah,
time with the Switch Lite and Pro, and obviously the Lite came to
yeah,
light.
it came to tuition. Yeah, it came to light. But I don't know. I do think if they're going to go with this, they need to upgrade the hardware because this Tegra X1 is now going to be 6 year old, and a 6 year old mobile chip trying to upscale to 4K isn't going to go very well. I mean, docked right now, I think right now a Switch when it's undocked, I think it's running about what was it, 1.1 gigahertz or something like that undocked.
It's not very
It jump,
powerful, is it?
it's not, no, it jumps like 1.6 when it's docked. So it gets a bit of a boost. But again, it's going to, I don't know. It's weird. This is going to be a weird little device once more information gets leaked about it. If these leaks are true, Nintendo could be just pulling like, we were looking at this, but we're thinking about pushing this to the next Switch, the next generation of it, which,
Yeah,
to be honest, I think would be better. Keeping what they've got, focus on what they need to do with this one, and then, 2 years later, then bring out its superior. But by then, Sony and Microsoft will be like, yeah, we're well into the 4K resolution business. But
it made more sense because
yeah,
it's not as if the Switch is performing badly. I mean, it's still outselling
no,
crazy,
I
isn't
mean,
it?
I'm curious to see how it's going to be running Apex, which is next week. There's going to be some reveals, and I want to see the performance behind that because even on a pro running Apex Legends, frame rates are all over the place.
PS4 Pro.
Yeah, I mean it's not a fixed 60. It'll pan out a little bit, but as you're diving down and landing, you can see it jumping between 40 to any range between 40 to 60. Sometimes even dropping within the 30 marks. So that's a pro. I'm trying to play Apex. And I tried it on an Xbox One, base system. An Xbox S, sorry. Wish Microsoft changed the name to these.
Yeah.
But I remember playing that. My God, the game looked terrible. Honestly, it was blocky. The draw distance were appalling. And at the time, we didn't have the frame count, so I don't know what frames it were running at. But it was like, ooh. And if the Switch is having the same kind of issue, it's going to be like around the Xbox Series, not Series, sorry, Xbox S. Performance wise, it's time it needs an upgrade, so it would need a successor. So maybe the Pro is like, oh, we got the Pro, but there's going to be more to it. Maybe it is the successor, but coming out a bit sooner.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. Like you said, all that. It's like, why have a Pro? Because
Yeah, I mean the Pro or the upgrade consoles are pretty much gone in the past because I think that was the last generation of marketing ploy. And now that
yeah,
we've got the actual 4K systems, which are out now, that the Series X and the PS5, get a get a portable PS5 or portable Series X. Yeah, come on. That's what Nintendo should do. They should look at the Xbox S, Series S, right? See what's in that, and then go to Nvidia and say, "Look, this is what AMD have done, right? Could you kind of do something to rival this?" Which is what they did with the Switch and the Xbox One. That's why the games are easier to port because it's kind of built on an Xbox One architecture.
oh,
So that's why I think that's what Nintendo was aiming at, being a rival to the Microsoft platform. Because if it was trying to rival Sony, it's got no chance. But now with the Xbox Series S, I think if Nintendo approached Nvidia and go, right, I know you've got new Integra chips. Do any of these rival what AMD have done for the Series X, Series S? Microsoft, please change the names on the next consoles, please. uh, I think that's probably a better option. An OLED screen, good, right? Docking to 4K, I'm still not sure about. 720p, yeah. But we've got phones that can now display at 4K, so
mm.
running 4K videos. So, and they're running on a mobile chip. So, yeah, I think it's time that the Switch and Nintendo should actually start looking at a successor instead of doing an enhanced version. Because on a 6-year-old chip, 4K, even upscaled, this ain't going to be good.
Yeah. Well, what's my own thoughts on that as well? Because I think we're just trying to cash in. Because
Mm.
the only reason they could do it is if the Switch is slowing down sales, but by all reports, it's not.
No. I mean, like I said, most people that own a Switch either have a PC or one of the newer consoles, or even one of the last gen consoles. Because even the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Series again, Xbox One X, still are superior to the Switch hardware wise. And so I think, like I said, yeah, I think it's just time Nintendo looked at making the successor,
I
but
think,
keep the backwards compatibility.
yeah, I think the only reason this will sell in my eyes because it's not got many games coming out to my eyes that is confirmed is the exclusive games that have been made for it.
That's I want to wait and see on that one. I mean, if Nintendo want to push this and make exclusive games, fair play to them, but it will alienate a huge player base because not everybody can afford this fancy new Switch device. I mean, even when the Switch first came out, it was still quite high price for what it did. So,
Don't know. I think the novelty helped because it was a hybrid.
what was what 350 quid or something like that when it came out?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so that was like, ooh, I could get an Xbox. I could get an Xbox. Oh, I think the Xbox X went out at that time, was it? Can't remember. But one of the two, he could like, yeah, I could see the novelty behind it because it was new Nintendo, and it was like, wait, maybe that's why it became such a success because again, it was portable
Yeah,
and you could dock it. But I don't know. I really think Nintendo should just go right. Like I said, just make a successor because this if they do it this way, go one or two ways. One, it could be a success for them, which I don't think it will be because people will be just getting back into work
yeah,
and people are getting back to work. They've got, I mean, after what happened in 2020, people really obviously got stuff that needs to focus on more than buying a fancy new device. And if this comes out, it's going to be easily retailing about probably 350, maybe even 400 quid.
yeah. That's true.
So, and then you look at, the Series S. Almost got that wrong again. That's what if that comes out mainstream again, well, which manufacturers are supposed to be picking back up on that. That's what £250 in the UK.
I have no idea anymore due to scalping.
No, I think it retails at 250 RRP, recommended retail price. And then you got that, and then you got this fancy Switch, and you got this it's kind of like a no-brainer because you know what you're getting with the Series S. With this new device, you'd be like, we saw speculation right now, but I mean, for all I know, it could be a decent little system when it comes out.
Yeah.
But for now, I wouldn't be rushing to the stores to pre-order one of these things, just in case.
No, I think I'll be sticking with my Switch. It's being hardly used as it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen second-hand Switches now go for even fully dockable ones for like nearly 180 now. They've come right down in price on the second-hand market because it's the same thing. People want the newer generation consoles or PCs,
Yeah.
and it's often just sitting behind the TV now. And a kid may want to play it. I mean, it's ideal for kids, but then you got these Fortnite players who maybe like was 10, 14-year-old. I don't want to play the Switch anymore. I'm having trouble with it. I want to get a new Xbox. I want to get a PC. And then, well, might need to sell your Switch. So, okay.
Yeah.
And then they get rid of the Switch and get something a bit more powerful. So,
Xbox Series S is perfect for them sort of players.
yeah, exactly. You can just like go, and that's what, £250?
Yeah.
We out scalpers. Scalpers, if you watch this, do not increase any more prices. We get sick of it. But £250. I like the Series S. I like the price of it for what it does. I mean, trying to get a PC that can do the same thing, it's hard.
Yeah.
And then you're paying like nearly £500-600 for the same kind of thing. The only thing I have a problem with the Series S is the storage space.
And the solution, which is
Yeah,
$220.
yeah, or a slower external drive.
Crazy.
It's weird. But yeah.
Yep, I think that's all we can say about Nintendo. Our next story is the Avengers and the controversy with the grinding. They're making it harder.
Oh. This is the last thing you want in an MMO game is making it harder and longer to grind your max level.
I mean, this game has already had problems since day one due to content, repetitiveness. It's just, I mean, do they want bad news?
It's I played the demo when they released it, and I
Yeah,
was like, "What? This is okay, but I don't know. It's like two games just been mashed into one."
yeah,
And it was. I found the Hulk segment of the demo. I'm only going by the demo, guys. Just the only bit I've played. I'm not fussed about buying this just yet. Or if it comes really, really cheap, then I might. Or if it comes on Game Pass, I'll play it. But I remember playing Smashing Feeling for the Hulk. I thought, hey, this is okay. First 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, can this be over now? Pretty much done. And then you got Is it Miss Marvel? Yeah,
Kamala Khan.
playing it. Yeah, but she's like I think that's what called the superhero name is like Miss Marvel or something like that. I thought that little segment was all right, but it was done before, and after 5 minutes, I was like, can I get to where I want to be so I can pick my actual heroes I want to play?
Yeah.
And then I started to mess around with Iron Man for a bit, and I was like, huh, not much difference. And then I don't know. This is a game I think Square Enix probably put a lot of time in it. They pulled some very good developers onto this game, and I kind of feel sorry for them because this is guys behind Deus Ex and I think Tomb Raider as well. These are guys built on single player experiences, making a multiplayer game. How did that go? Let me think back to Andromeda, kind of opposite roles. That didn't go
Yeah.
very well. So
Anthem as well.
Anthem again, you can't pull a team that know how to do a single player, slap in multiplayer, and hope it works. It just doesn't work because they're not used to the balance change that needs to come with it. They want to create a story, which is what I think Avengers should have been with like a more of a maybe like a side thing like Cyberpunk's doing. Focus more on a single player aspect, but bring in multiplayer later on down the line,
Yeah.
whatever that is. And I think they should have done something like that. But I don't know. I think this game's dying. I think this game's one of these games that is like it's one of these like you do know you need to put it down. It's like, but you don't. But they're like just dragging it on. They put it on life support. I would say, kind of keep it going.
It's going to be another Anthem, I think.
Yeah. Give it this time next year. So Square probably say, "No, sorry, we tried and we pulled the plug."
I mean, I'm still
You know what?
lost about over 60 million on it already.
Mind you, Square's not been doing that well recently, so that is a huge hit for them. I mean,
Yeah, I mean they've had Final Fantasy. That's the best thing so far from them. Dragon
Yeah,
Quest maybe.
I've not played any Dragon Quest, but I've heard they're quite fun to play. And
Yeah.
I know there's one on the Game Pass. I mean, even they made major money when the remake came out, but again, if you look back at people that have played the remake and try looking back at it again, it's like something. It's good, but it feels like they've kind of like missed the mark. And then this whole debacle with the PS5 and exclusive content is like probably a way for them to try and make money back. By the way, we need extra money because we've kind of screwed up with the Avengers.
I think excuse me, they got lazy. They rely too much on the Avengers and Marvel IP. I thought they just thought, oh, that's going to print us money. That we're just going to do what we want, be as lazy as we can, and just rely on that name. But it's not worked out
Yeah,
for them.
yeah. And then the thing, if you get the character's likeness as well, I mean, you'd think they'd been able to get a license like the likeness to like Iron Man, make him a bit more like Tony Stark and Robbie Downey Jr. And then you got Captain America, who looks really weird in the Avengers game. It's weird,
Yeah,
and I can see probably why they didn't do it. Try and keep so it doesn't feel like a relic of the age.
costs I
But
think as well.
cost too, yeah. Voiceovers weren't too bad. I thought that was actually quite done well. But I don't know. I think they are. I don't know. I mean, the last I heard, they were doing a next gen update for it.
Yep, and that's out on March 18th, along with the Clint DLC.
Ooh,
Uh,
I remember. Go on, sorry.
from that date as well, they are restricted. They're making it a bit more grindy from level 25 because of pacing issues, such as skill points currently being rewarded too fast, and they've said it will confuse and overwhelm newer players.
Well, if they've already got to level 25, wouldn't they already know how to play the game? So they should by then know what they're looking at doing.
Yeah,
So
which
I
is
just think
which is contradictory on the next point because they've made early leveling slightly faster, which is a massive contradiction because people will be getting skill points at level 5, 6, and that's when it'll be like too overwhelming for them.
well, unless they're aiming for the younger generation, which it probably will be actually, because they're probably trying to get the like
Kids.
the 10 kids, yeah, kids into it. And it might be their first step into an MMO where our age we've been playing them for ages now, so we
Mm,
understand talent trees and skill points. But it seems strange how they like go, oh, by the way, you can level up quicker, but when it comes to 25s, like, no, you guys can slow down a bit. And do you know
mm.
why? So they can keep the player base.
Yeah, makes no sense because by the time you get 25, you can sort of you've got a handle on your skills.
It's not like it's like capped it from 10, where you've been still learning. It's like 25, you're halfway through the leveling progress. So by then you should be like, oh yeah, this is how I want to build my Iron Man or Captain America or Hulk, even Clint,
Yeah,
whenever he turns up. But is it Clint knows, or is Apprentice that you play as? You know anything else about that?
she's there already, I think. Kate Bishop.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I didn't even know till today.
Yeah, no, no
So
try.
they've not
Uh,
advertised that very well.
no, but I can just imagine all these memes that are coming out. You know, when back in the Infinity War, where's Clint? Oh, you guys got defeated by Thanos because I wasn't there. And now maybe they're trying to hope to do the same thing with Avengers. You guys failed. Here I am, to save the day.
Well, they've got to do something because I mean they've got a massive. I mean, is it? It's got to be one of the biggest IPs on the planet right now,
Yeah,
and they've
they're
managed.
literally holding.
It's,
It's
you can
it's
print
like
money with
EA.
that.
Yeah, it's like EA with Star Wars when they first got it. It's like, oh, we've got Star Wars license. What do? We make a Luke grabbing. Oh no, it wasn't that. That was Battlefield 2, Battlefront 2, Battlefront 1. My God, well, how was that a letdown?
Oh, that was so
It's
bare
like
bones.
you had the Star Wars license in your hand, and then you gave us Battlefront 1.
Mm.
Okay, and then you gave us Battlefront 2.
Oh God, that was even worse. That was worse for like the wrong reasons.
Yeah, all that loot box from that. I've heard it's got a good better to play it, but
Yeah,
it was like, oh, by the way, we've got the cat. Even Disney got involved. It's like, what the hell are you guys doing? We've given you Star Wars. This is what you're doing with it. So,
Well,
and then funny enough, that's when
it did kick off that whole loot box issue, which is
yeah,
turn them around, hasn't it? Or turn the
yeah,
game around as well.
well, yeah, but it's also turned the community around from getting rid of loot boxes into battle passes and season passes now. So it swings and roundabouts. But it also but funny enough though, when Disney started putting pressure on them, that's when we started hearing more about Fallen Order.
Oh, that's a game and a half.
So, but again, Square's done the exact same thing. They got this massive IP, but they gave it to the wrong bloody team. You should have gone right. Okay, Crystal Dynamics, you guys work on the story. We need you to do this, and I reckon they would have pulled off a really good story because there is something there, and you could feel it in the demo. And then whatever multiplayer team they've got in Square's employment, or even outsource it to another team, some for multiplayer only. They
Yeah.
could have gone right. We have you guys. Can you work on this for us? And then just do what Cyberpunk are doing. So right, we're working on a single player game. We've got multiplayer planned in the works in the pipeline, but we want to get this solid done first. And people are like, yeah, that's fine with us. We don't mind. We can wait. That's what they could have done. But no, they jumped on the live service bandwagon like Anthem. Had a rocky start like Anthem. Introduced some kind of season pass. I think Anthem did that too. I'm not sure.
Didn't
And
get that
funny enough,
far.
no, probably didn't. And funny enough, they both start with A. I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Well, I've got to say, I hope if it fails, I hope it comes fast, because then that means Crystal Dynamics will be free again,
Aye.
and they'll be free to make a game like, I don't know, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver.
Ooh, yeah, that's something that the fan base has been after for a while. I personally would love them to finish off the Deus Ex trilogy because that's what they were going for. I enjoyed playing Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, and how Mankind Divided finished was going to pan in straight into the third, and
Yeah.
then Square's like, no, you're not working on that right now. We need you on this. Why? So,
But I'm not too bothered about Deus Ex. I think they made it too actiony compared to Invisible War.
I was just don't you dare say that. Don't you dare say Invisible War. That's the black sheep of this family. You know that.
Oh no, I like that game. I didn't play the first one much. Second one I played several times, and then these new ones. No, they made it too actiony. I prefer an RPG.
They are. It's just how it starts off. Human Revolution was actually quite fun, and then Mankind Divided. Yeah, it's a little divided, I would say. Yeah, but I can see where they're going with it. And the third one was supposed to finish off the Jensen's story arc. Yeah, and it kind of left it on a bit of a cliffhanger as well. I need to play. I can't remember much of the cliffhanger because it was like, oh, it's ended now, really?
Yeah, I remember ending on a bit of a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The DLC wasn't too bad either, but again, you're giving a live service MMO online game to people that have just purely done single player games. It's just not going to work.
Cash grab, that's what it is.
Yeah, yep. I mean, at least EA is doing the right thing. They actually have dedicated multiplayer teams like DICE. They know how to do a Battlefield game. Well, besides Battlefront. They give them but mind you, Battlefield games since Battlefield 1 and 5, or Victory as it was originally called, weren't that good. Just hoping number 6 is actually going to bring it back to the modern day era.
They should just either remake Bad Company 2
There's been a lot of
make a third one.
I mean, there's been a lot of demand for a third Bad Company, especially how that ended too. It's like, come on, guys.
Even the multiplayer were better because
Right.
no loot boxes. You knew what you're doing. You used the weapon, upgraded it by using it. That's how you won it.
Yeah, same Battlefield 3 and 4. Them two was exactly the same. 4 was good, honestly. I think that's probably one of the best Battlefields I've ever played. But I've tried recently replaying it, and I'm like, I'm getting my ass kicked by everyone who's a higher level than me. So it's kind of daunting when you jump in a chopper and you realise I ain't gonna unlock my missiles yet, and then they got another helicopter that just takes you down from the rockets. So you're like, no, this isn't fair, but it's still enjoyable. Yeah, but Avengers
doesn't life support.
Yeah, I think it's not going to avenge anybody just yet.
It's unfortunate, but it happens, especially when you're looking for that quick grab of money, even though you don't really need it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know how much to pay to license the IP, but obviously it's not paid out and it's not panning out, and you've still got the developers to pay, and then you've got a sinkhole. And I think they're trying to hope that this next gen update to jump on the next gen bandwagon might save them. It might boost the player base, but I think it's now time to bring this game either down to a really cheap price. So like, even though they just told us what £15 or $15 or $20, bring it down in price and put it on the Game Pass or PlayStation Now or whatever what PlayStation's got.
Yeah.
Just to boost your player base. I think that's what they need to do. Otherwise, kill it. That's it. I'm sorry being dramatic, but this game, you got one or two ways to go now. Either support it by bringing the prices down and attracting more players, or just wash your hands and go, we made a mistake, like EA done with Anthem, and just confess and just move on. Sometimes it's better to admit your mistakes than trying to like, oh, don't worry, we'll patch this up, we'll patch this. It's just you just plug in a sinking ship.
It is, and that is our end for that one. For our last story of the podcast is about the new Alien game, Alien Fireteam. It's a survival shooter, and it looks pretty good actually.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on the third person view because I was raised on the FPS games, from the Alien trilogy onwards.
Yeah.
And but it could be good. But one thing I'm kind of hoping that they don't make it scripted, because then it'll make the game boring. It's like, oh, there's an alien coming out of the vent in 3, 2, 1. There it is.
Yeah.
So how's that going to affect the fear factor? Oh, I've gone into his room. By the way, in about 5 seconds from now, you're going to get a wave come from the left, wave come right, or one from the center, and then you're like, it's not going to have that fear factor, which is what Alien games are known for. Even Alien Trilogy, I remember playing as a kid. Like, at the time, I had a broken leg, and I remember sitting down and playing it. Even then, it still scared me. I was like, I know there's a xenomorph in here. I know there's an alien here. Well, got a pistol and a shotgun. Where are you? And Alien Isolation, which somebody's recently been playing, and that's got the scare factor in it.
That was a good game, Alien Isolation, especially after Colonial Marines. But it did sort of lose its
appeal.
It didn't lose appeal. It's still a good game, but at the early stage of the game, I was scared of like creeping out. But as soon as you get the flamethrower, it sort of lost its fear factor. Yeah,
you lost the edge. But I can see why they probably also call this new one Fire Team. They probably want to get away from the stigma of Colonial Marines. And Gearbox, I'm still not happy with you on that one. You really do messed up big time with that. And a spelling mistake in your programming. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
That's what ruined it. Just one little tiny error. One little wording wrong. And then this is the game we got. And then, but I am looking forward to it because I've always been a bit of an Alien fan ever since I was young. I used to collect the comics, used to collect the materials, add a few figures. Kind of miss some of them, which are quite nice. But I even still read some of the comics now on my phone. So the fan base is there, and I just hope Marvel doesn't screw it up.
Well,
the comic books, but I'll see. So far, the teas look good, but this Fire Team, I've watched a little bit, but I don't know much of it. I mean, what's included? And what else?
Well, I watched they did a 25-minute playthrough on IGN by Ryan McCaffrey, and I wrote some notes down. And what I got from it was it's a third-person shooter, which it's always going to be 3 players. So if you're playing solo, the rest will be AI.
I mean, well, before we move on, the AI business, will the AI be smart or will they actually be predictable? As in, like, they know when the aliens are coming, so they're going to be ready, or do you have some kind of control over them?
They didn't explain that in the video because there was Ryan McCaffrey who was hosting it, and he had 2 devs making up the team.
Well, I think for this kind of game, I think it's nice that they're throwing in like a single player action, but I think this is probably going to be focused more on 3 players. It's just like this. You really need to play it with people you know.
They did
Or-
mention it'd be best with players, but there's
Yeah,
obviously the option to play with AIs there.
yeah.
Each class has got 2
Mm.
abilities. They didn't really delve far into that.
Did they say anything about any kind of classes? It's just that they just got two abilities. Didn't like mention
Um,
what the classes were going to be.
I didn't quite catch it. You know, there's obviously there'll be a healer, a
Medic,
big
yeah.
brute,
So they'd be like the like an
standard.
assault.
Yeah,
So like let's say we'll go by what Battlefield does. You got the assault, you got the support, you got the medic.
yeah,
So it'd be like that kind of relay. Or you got maybe a fourth one be a tech, tech.
yeah.
So you could hack or put turrets down, stuff like that. I'm assuming there's turrets in it.
Yep, sentry guns.
Woohoo.
There's 30 weapons.
Ooh, okay.
That includes.
Please say smart gun.
It
Please say smart
it
gun.
didn't go into details what weapons there are. Just 30 weapons. It's got some gadgets with like sentry guns, mines, charged coils, which if you throw down, it slows the aliens down at a certain area.
I suppose it's good if you want to make a little bit of a choke point. I mean, if you're falling back, you want to kind of get them to slow down.
Yeah, especially with
But
how fast they are.
again, if the smart gun's in there and that's part of the smoke task, guess who's playing? Guess who's playing that? Yeah, I'm going to be playing that role, all right. I did notice a little bit in the video, and I did notice the flamethrower, which is iconic.
Yeah.
And of course the pulse rifle, so which is another iconic weapon.
There's 20 different alien types. Some made for just this game. I noticed there was you kept calling them a spitter. So you got this alien who just spits out the venom at you from a range.
They had that one in Colonial Marines too.
Oh.
So it's not really pure. There's nothing that's purely for that, but they had that one in that.
There might be just some secret ones left for release.
It could be fun. I mean, is it just aliens you're fighting against? Or...
Looks like it. I mean, there's different types. It's like warriors, spitters, runners. There's this. They didn't quote a name by it, but there was this. It were massive. It came at you. They were plugging it with ammo. Don't know, but they plugged the amount of ammo they plugged into it, and it just kept coming. It was a beast.
It's going to be interesting to fight a Queen alien then. Mind you, if they're doing it, if this is a proper game for the fans, by the fans, if like myself, I've read the comics, I've gone really back in some of the story arcs. I will recommend anybody who's on here since Aliens to read the Earthworld comic book. It is really good. There is a lot of alien species that they could use. I mean, there was in some comic books there were flying ones, where there's like a civil war on one planet, and you had one faction aliens fighting the other. And then there's another story arc where the Weyland Yutanis managed to clone aliens and get them under his control, but they end up turning on the controller. Funny enough, weren't really in the control. And then you got the clones, Xenomorph, which are weaker but obey, but they get annihilated by the normal ones. There's so many different story arcs, and if they've got a lot of species in it, it's going to make probably encountering them quite interesting, especially if the AI is good. If the AI bugs out, and you're like, this is Colonial Marines 2.0. Cheers, guys. That's the stigma they've got to get away with. This game has to come out perfectly. You know, I would say not 100% perfectly, but better. Then they're on with a winner. But if they don't, they're going to be forever known as Colonial Marines 2.0. And I don't think there'll be another Aliens game after that if this one doesn't succeed.
No, I don't either. Yeah, 2 weapons plus a side, so I'm not sure if that's
probably a pistol, you know.
Well, that'll be a side, but 2 weapons, you have like a flamethrower, rocket launcher,
so
assault rifle.
This loadout you can pick before you go into the mission then.
I could only assume they didn't start it at that. They started it in game.
Well, it makes sense if you could pick your loadout at the start, because if you know this is going to be like a close quarter areas, you're like, yeah, this is a space. We're on a spaceship, for example. I don't know what stage they're like. As you know, say on a spaceship, there's corridors, so you know, right, we need close quarter weapons like shotgun and flamethrower, and we need the turrets.
Yeah.
So then you know you can create choke points. You know you're going to be in close quarter situations. And then if you do a mission that's I don't know, say set on a planet with open areas, you will need something a bit more range, a bit more suppressing fire. So I hope they can do that, and if they got like a proper progression system, Like for example, say you're playing as a medic, you unlock better healing,
Yeah.
or or you're playing an assault, you carry more ammo, you got more grenades or whatever. So it could go really well, but it could also go really bad. So
Well, the location they used in this demo was on a ship where it was
mm,
corridors. You had like a main area where it's a bit more open.
aye.
You
So
had,
yeah,
you had vents everywhere, which aliens did pop out of.
more than they did in Colonial Marines.
Uh,
But yeah, it could be a fun little game. I mean, I'm curious about it. 'Cause being, like I said, being an Alien fan, and I will play it. I probably will end up getting it, but I would need friends to play it with. He's looking at you.
it's a
Yeah.
game. It's a
Mm,
game I'll probably definitely. I don't know what it is. I think if it weren't an Alien game,
mm.
it just
It'd be
like
like a generic shooter.
yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
I'd be that bothered. But 'cause I'm not a massive fan of Alien like you, but I do enjoy the films.
Right.
Some of them.
Well, don't speak about the films. The films don't exist after two.
Um,
I I know there's fans out there that like number three and Resurrection. Yeah. I know.
um, Going back to what you said as well about picking your weapons, there are
Mm.
30 weapons to pick from, so you must be have an option to pick what you want
Yeah,
at
I
the
would say
start.
the iconic weapons have got to be like the shotguns, pulse rifles, sidearms, the smart guns. There, that definitely. I think that now that I think about it from the trailer, I did see some gun with a very distinctive barrel, which is what the smart gun carried. So I'm quite curious about that one. And if there is bigger enemies, you will need bigger weapons. So yeah, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, maybe. Because even Colonial Marines showed off some new weapons. Like there was a battle rifle, SMGs. So more than what was shown in the film. So yeah, let's just hope there's a lot more toys to play with.
It's 4 campaigns in 4 locations, 12 missions, and all tied together.
So 4 campaigns, 12 missions. That's 4 missions in each one then.
Well, it's four
No, wait, no,
campaigns,
no, that's
three
three.
missions, 3 missions each.
Yeah, 3 missions each one. Sorry, my maths was pretty off there. Well, if the map is good, big, and lots to explore, and it's not predictable, then I can see people replaying certain missions. But is there any reason to? I mean, is there any extra modes or whatever? I mean, do you know?
Well, you'll be able to level up your class, perks, abilities, and weapons, so you'll be grinding to do that.
Let's
Uh,
hope it's not the Avengers time to grind it.
oh God, I hope not either. You can find hidden caches that contain consumables and cosmetics. In the video,
Mhm.
they didn't show any cosmetics, but they did find a sentry gun. So
Mm.
whether that was a thermal one as well. So that was like a special maybe because he was pretty excited about
Oh,
it.
thermal one. So
Yeah,
it can actually detect it. So tell me there's darker areas as well.
must be. I mean, he's pretty excited because he found a normal sentry gun, and then when Ryan mentioned he found a thermal one, the dev got pretty excited about the chances of getting through that battle.
Oh, so certain weapons and equipment are required for certain events. Then, mind you, oh, just think about it. If you do encounter a darker area, oh, that'd be kind of fun.
Scary, which is what I like after playing
Yeah,
Resident Evil 7.
I admit it's got me intrigued, but like I said at the start, let's just hope the AI is not predictable and it is more of a more less scripted. So it had more of a jump scare, but again, wait and see. I'm sure the devs have probably thought of this as well. Hopefully.
You've also got something called challenge cards. So these are an example as only headshots will work, which sounds super hard when you think about it. But I think the harder they are, more rewards, cosmetics, maybe more XP.
Yeah, hardness on headshots on an alien. Yeah, I can see you probably think, that's going to be easy. Yeah, but then you also got to fight in the factor that if it's a big open area and it's running around the walls and that, how easy is it going to get a headshot on that?
And they are fast.
Yeah, and then you also look at the fact that if you create a choke point and going down the corridor, you're going to get the headshots quite easy because they're running at you. So some of these challenges could be hard. I mean, a headshot one sounds easy. in some missions, if you get encountered in an open area, you might have more of a challenge on your hands than you might think. Especially if they've got like a big tanky kind of character where you're like, we need to kill this with headshots. Are you serious?
Yeah. Or imagine, like that's just off what they said, but imagine tail shots only. Imagine that.
Oh God! If the hitboxes are, if we've got the hitboxes perfectly right for an alien trying to hit the tails, like, you know what? I'm not even going to attempt this one.
Be a challenge.
It'll be a challenge, but it'll be a challenge to the point where, you know what? I'm not. It's not even going to be worth it in the end. So how are you going to get behind them?
Well, use the what it calls
Sorry.
charge coil. I mean,
Yeah, you can pull them down
that's.
and go around.
I mean, what else could you? I mean, they might even have an ice-based weapon.
Yeah, something to slow them down. Any words on synthetics, though? Because when I looked at the trailer, you did kind of. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of a comic on this one. Sorry, but any updates on synthetics? Androids, anything like that?
I did see. They look synthetic to me. Orange jumpsuit,
All
slightly
right.
blue skin. So they were like housed in like a case, so they can only be synthetics. Can't imagine them being human unless they were cryogenically frozen, which might explain the blue
Well,
skin actually.
it could be, yeah, it could be just coming out of freezer, coming out of the freezer. Mind you, again, if this game is a success, I could see this going everywhere. I mean, they could bring in the predators. I mean, I can imagine trying to hunt down the predators as a lot of Marines would be fucking impressive. Especially if you've got like a boss where you know the predator's in there and it's stealthed, and you know he can kill you quite easily. I'm not talking about hunting grounds either. I'm not even going to talk about that one.
Oh.
But if the devs do this right, I think they could have the Alien IP solidly. You know, they could go wherever they want. I mean, they could bring in the engineers from Prometheus.
Oh.
They could bring in, like I said, the Predators, the Pred Aliens as well.
Getting a bit far into it now. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. But again, it's this initial release. If they've got a Colonial Marines on their hand, it's just going to go down because that stigma is still here.
Yeah.
Right? For a lot of players, it's there. And if they don't, and it's a success like Left 4 Dead, and any other games like that, then they've got their hands. They could probably milk that franchise for ages, and fans will just lap it up. But it's that initial launch that is. They've got a lot of pressure on that, and I hope they know this as well. Because, like I said, to me, it seems like a game I want to play, and I will be playing it.
Me too.
And I will pass judgment. I'm not going to be harsh on it. I will be harsh if I have to be. And I will criticize it. I will praise it. But if you do an Alien Colonial Marines, I will shoot you down, and I'm not going to hold back.
Do you think it would be a full price release?
Who's publishing it? Do you know?
No.
No, I've not heard much about publishing on it. But I would hope to say no, but I've heard it is on the PlayStation and Xbox as well.
Yeah, on consoles and PC.
Yeah, I hope it's got crossplay. If it's got crossplay, oh, this is going to be fun. But to be honest, I would want to buy it, but I don't know if I'd pay £45 or $50 or whatever you got. I might, if it's 35, good chance I'll snap it up. Because at 40, I probably will still buy it, but I'll be still thinking about it in my mind. This is going to be Colonial Marines. This is going to be Colonial Marines. Please don't be Colonial Marines. Please don't be Colonial Marines. That's what I'll be thinking. And I know if I play it for more than 2 hours, my Steam refund's not going to go through.
Yeah.
So
I think that's wait for reviews for that because, like I said, it looks good, but it don't look like it should retail at full price.
No, but being with a podcast and YouTubers and that, we can't wait for that. That's the trouble. So I might just bite the bullet and just go for it.
Oh, that's
and then
point actually, yeah.
And try it, but it would need to be played with friends, and that's the problem for right now. I only know one that's got a PC, maybe two. Who knows when this comes out? But
I think it's
that's the thing.
Summer 2021.
And so there's still a lot more information. If it comes out with the word crossplay, and it's actually proper crossplay, and it's integrated into PC and console, not like progression crossplay where you can there's cross saves and that lot. I can see it probably that. I hope they do because in a way it's not. It doesn't look like it's going to be a PvP game, so it doesn't matter if you're going to be playing with PC players. You're going to be playing. It seems like a co-op game from what I've been told and what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Don't add any PvP options in it. It doesn't need it. This game's going to be. I mean, Left 4 Dead didn't need PvP, and look at that. People still play it even now, and that's still a popular game. I mean, speaking of PvE games, they seem to be cropping up, and it seems maybe this is the year where we see more instead of battle royales and PvP games.
That'd be
Bring
nice.
people to, yeah, and 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 I hope there's a first person mod too. Oh yeah, give me that. I'll be happy if I had a first person mod on it as well.
That'd be PC only, I think.
I don't care.
Via a third party, not the. I don't think it'll get official support.
Well, you never know. If this game was a success, then more and more players like, right, can you put a first person view in? Can you put a first person view in? Can you put a first person view in? Dev might go, you know what, we'll put a first person view in. I mean, Grand Theft Auto's got it. It's just toggle the button. There you go. You can play first and first. What else has got a third person view? Red Dead Redemption's got it as well. I'm sure there's a few others as well that you can switch between first. PUBG's got the option too, first and first. So it's not like it can't be added into the game. I mean, if it's being built on the Unreal Engine, which I assume it is, hopefully,
yeah,
it's highly moddable, so it could easily bring it in. And speaking of which, now that I'm thinking about the game, one thing I do hope they have is that you have to put, if you got a motion tracker out, you have to have that out instead of having a gun in one hand. So when you bring it out,
judging by videos, it's just in the top, it's just in the bottom right, like a mini map.
They're losing a bit of the fear factor there, but I can see why they're doing that. But I think that'd be kind of cool if they did, where you'd have to whip out the motion tracker, so that leaves one of your teammates vulnerable because he's using the tracker. But again, of this game, I wouldn't say it's going to be my game of 2021, but I'm kind of getting more hyped up now that I think more about it. But hype train can be up here, and then when the game comes down, it could be down here. So
seems to be the case nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's the same with Cyberpunk, but I enjoyed playing that. I mean, my hype for the game was up here, but when it went down to about there, I still enjoyed it. But I'm going to keep more and more eyes on this one, and it would be nice to dive back into the Alien universe. I mean, after playing, I think the last one I played was Isolation as well, but I didn't finish it, sadly.
Oh, really?
To get back into it. Yeah,
I finished it.
I got to halfway through it, and I got to where you get the flamethrower. And then I was too busy with work, so I started watching how it ended, and I noticed that there's more eggs and there's more aliens turning up and that lot. So, so it was all right. It'd be nice to see a sequel to it, but again, I don't think Sega own the IP anymore. So I don't think they do. I don't know. Well, no, because
these guys have got it. I think. Well, got access to it at least.
Well, yeah, Disney's got it now. Fox owns the IP, so they own the IP to it now. So maybe they will. Maybe they'll talk to Sega and go, right, we enjoyed Alien Isolation, here's the money, go make us a sequel. Hopefully they do. But this game, yeah, I'm going to look a bit more into it, and I will. This probably will be a day one release because, as you say, we need to get the reviews out, and I think it would make a good late night stream as well, especially when you're half asleep. You're like, what was that? Craig, was that you? No.
I still think it'd be that sort of game compared to Isolation, where it does rely on you just creeping around and thinking, God, where is it? Where is it?
Obviously, it's going to be an action-oriented game, but if they can get the unscripted events, so you do not, so like, say one time it is the alien just pop out of the event, but next time you expect it to happen and it doesn't. So that puts you a little bit on head. You're like, wait a minute, this was supposed to happen here. It didn't. Because that's the worst thing you can do if you're like, you're teasing somebody. Like for example, if you like then. And you're on edge because you're waiting for it to happen. You know it's going to happen, so your heightened, your senses are heightened, and it's like, I don't like this. It's not happened the way I wanted it to go. And later on, it just jumps out when you're not expecting it.
That'd be best, I
So,
think.
yeah,
I think we've wrapped up all we can say about
yeah.
that game.
This for me, I could chat for a while, but we've got to keep our recordings low. But yeah, I would say, guys, if you're fans of Aliens, keep an eye on this one, and hopefully, this is one we've been waiting for.
It'd be nice, but I think I'll remain cautious.
Yes, the Colonial Marines bug.
I think that's all as well for the video. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Like, subscribe, share, comment, email, all that stuff.
You don't have to be nice to us. You can speak your mind. We'll read them all, and we'll speak our mind back.
In a nice way.
Yes, in a nice way.
Yep, that's a wrap up. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.